you're watching Daily News on All News Nigeria. I am Okwemi Oluwemi. Here are the headlines for today. GBAJABIAMILA threatens to arrest EMEFIELE. ATIKU mocks Tinubu over recent comment. APC says Bullion van accidentally made its way to Tinubu's residence. Welcome back. Now the news in details. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, GBAJABIAMILA, has declared his readiness to issue a warrant of arrest on the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, if he fails to appear before its committee on Thursday. GBAJABIAMILA said instead of the House adjourning plenary till February 28 for the elections as planned, the lawmakers would reconvene on Tuesday to take an action against Emefiele and other bank chiefs who fail to show up.
The refusal by the CBN or managing directors to heed the invitation by the House of Representatives is evidence of a blatant disregard for the well-being of the Nigerian people who are their customers. It is also an insult to the authority and prerogatives of the People's Parliament. Therefore, if by the end of today there is further disregard to the summons of this House, I will, without hesitation and pursuant to the authority conferred by Section 89(1)(d) of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Order 1921 of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives, not hesitate to issue a warrant to the Inspector General of the Nigerian Police to compel the attendance of the CBN and or managing directors who fail, refuse, or neglect to respond to the summons by the House of Representatives.
The Speaker, who noted that Emefiele is his friend, pointed out that he would not hesitate to demand the Inspector General of Police to effect the CBN governor's arrest and forceful appearance before the House. The House had set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the scarcity of the new naira at the deposit money banks, also known as commercial banks, leading to tension over the January 31 deadline set by the CBN for the exchange of old naira notes with the newly designed ones. As at last week, some commercial banks were still issuing the old denominations over the counter and through automated teller machines. Many had expected the CBN to extend the deadline before the January 31 date for the sake of Nigerians in rural areas who do not ordinarily have access to banking services in their immediate locations. The CBN governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, had insisted the Apex Bank was going ahead with the set date, saying the 100 days allowed for the public to exchange the old notes for the new ones were sufficient
to receive all old currencies. 100 days, we believe, is more than adequate.
Emefiele has repeatedly snubbed the request of the House of Representatives to appear before it. He had been summoned by the lawmakers to shed light on the cash withdrawal limit and deadline given to phase out the old note, but has failed to appear. Earlier, he wrote that he was ill and not in the country, but since Emefiele returned to Nigeria from his recent trip abroad, he has not appeared before his lawmakers. The House had on Wednesday invited CBN to a meeting over the scarcity of new naira notes. However, the CBN failed to appear before the committee, blaming it on short notice. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party's PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar has mocked his All Progressives Congress APC counterpart, Bola Tinubu, saying the latter has become frustrated by his inability to stop the cashless policy and currency redesign of the Central Bank of Nigeria that will curb vote buying and enhance the credibility of next month's election. Recall that recently Tinubu had alleged plans of the opposition to scuttle his chances of winning in the 2023 general elections through forced scarcity and naira redesign. Atiku revealed that the early lamentations of Tinubu were signs that he had begun crying over his imminent defeat. Finally, on the news, Ayodele Adewale, the organizing secretary of the All Progressives Congress (APC) in Lagos State, has claimed that the money vans spotted in 2019 entering the house of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the presidential candidate of the party, only missed their way. Speaking during an interview on Arise TV's morning show on Thursday, Adewale said the vans spotted entering Tinubu's house on February 22, 2019, a day before the presidential election, had erroneously arrived there.
Question of the bullion van or no bullion van and all of that, I think that matter has been put to rest. There was no money in the bullion van. The bullion van that even came missed the address to have come there.
Okay.
Reacting, Rufai Oseni, one of the program's anchors, quizzed Adewale over Tinubu's response to questions on the same money vans. Oseni read out Tinubu's February 23, 2019 reaction, confirming the vans brought money to him. Adewale maintained his position on the vans. He said he was with Tinubu when he gave the statement to the press in 2019 and that it was merely a statement to dispel rumors. Defending the APC chieftain further, he averred that Tinubu was employing swag to get the attention of Nigerians, and this was mistaken for incoherent speech.
Right? I might want to increase my trend on the social media in order to have traction. I could use swag. I should only use swag in order to captivate and catch your attention, which he has achieved.
Recall that some pictures had gone viral on social media on the eve of the 2019 elections, showing 2 Bullion vans making their way into Tinubu's premises in Lagos. Tinubu had, while responding to those asking questions about the presence of Bullion vans at his residence in Bullion, Ikoyi, said he could keep his money wherever he wanted.
Even if I have money to spend in my premises, what's your headache? Excuse me. If I don't represent any agency of government and I have money to spend, if I have money, if I like, I give it to the people for free of charge. As long as not to buy votes. You are talking about yesterday. So who are those watching my house and looking at Bullion fans?
Tinubu said this while fielding questions from journalists shortly after casting his vote in 2019. And that's it on today's news. Join us next week for more news updates. You can also follow us on all social media platforms displayed on the screen. I am Okoyemi Olubemi. Do have a lovely weekend.